Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to learn the classification of crystalline solids. In the previous lecture, we have started chapter 1, the solid state. I have given you the brief idea regarding the solid state, its characteristic properties, and the amorphous and crystalline solids. We have also learned the difference between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Because the amorphous solids are short range order, there is as such no classification of amorphous solids based on the nature of intermolecular forces operating between the constituent particles. The crystalline solids are classified in 4 categories. You may see one table on your screen which mention the classification of crystalline solids. Let us now learn all about categories. How you are going to remember? First category is molecular solid. The second category is ionic solid. Third category is metallic solid. And fourth category is covalent solids or network solids. So how you are going to remember this? You will remember this as mole, io, met, co. Mole, that stands for molecular. Io, that stands for ionic. Metallic, that stands for metallic. And this covalence, co stands for covalent. So how we are going to remember the types of solid? Mole, io, met, co. Let us now learn one by one. Molecules are actually made up of constituent particles, which are molecules. They are subdivided into 3 categories: non-polar, polar, and hydrogen bonded. Non-polar molecules, solids, are comprises of very weakly attractive forces, and that is dispersion forces or London forces. You have already learned in 11th standard regarding the London forces. The examples are argon. You may also add helium if you want helium. Then carbon tetrachloride, H2, I2, CO2. All these are covalently bonded. Please note they are soft insulator, that means they are non-conductor of electricity. We are talking about the electrical conductivity right now. And melting point is very low because the weak attraction forces that is acting between the constituent particles. Second is polar molecular solids. Example is HCl, very famous. HCl, Cl is electron rich compared to hydrogen. So the electrons are naturally pulled towards chlorine, and that's the reason you have partial positive and partial negative charge generated, the bond polarity. Here you have the dipole-dipole interaction. Examples are high HCl, hydrogen chloride, solid SO2 or solid NH3. It is not mentioned here. You may add solid SO2, make it correct, and solid NH3 are the examples. They are again soft. Electrical conductivity is insulator, non-conductor, and melting point is very low. Now, third type is hydrogen bonded. You have already studied the hydrogen bonded in 11th standard. There are two types of hydrogen bonds. One is intramolecular and the other is intermolecular. It is defined as the polar covalent bond between the hydrogen and the most electronegative atoms such as fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. We are talking about currently H2O in the form of ice, solidified water. It is hard, still it is insulator and low melting point. So please make sure it is insulator, this category, and they are having very low melting point. Moving to the second listed category, that is ionic solids. The name itself suggests ionic, that means the constituent particles are ions. Whenever the ions are there, the attraction forces acting between the ions are Coulombic forces, or what we can say electrostatic forces. The examples are NaCl, KCl, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, CaF2, etc. They are hard but brittle. Please note, in the solid state they are insulators in the solid state, but when it comes to the molten state, or let's say in aqueous state, they become conductor. Why so? Because in the molten state, or when they are dissolved in the water, the ions become free to move about, and that's the reason they conduct the electricity. The third category is metallic solids. We are talking about metals. They are actually the collection of a positive ion surrounded by and held together with a delocalized electron. So you can see the constituent particles, positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. We are talking about the nucleus, around which shells are there, in which the electrons are distributed. They are having the valence electron, the free electrons, which are responsible for its high electrical and thermal conductivity. So they are actually the conductors, as well in solid and molten both state. Examples are iron, copper, silver, magnesium, all metals. We know metallic properties. They are hard but malleable and ductile. You have already studied this in chapter, somewhere in standard 10, chapter which we call metals. And they are having fairly high melting point. Now why it is written fairly high? The reason is when we are comparing these metallic solids compared to these ionic solids and molecular solids, we can say the melting point is fairly high. And last is covalent or network solids. They are also called giant molecules. It is not mentioned here, but it is also called giant molecules. This is a wide variety of crystalline solids, mainly made up of non-metals, and resulted due to the formation of covalent bonds throughout the crystal. So the attractive forces is naturally the covalent bonding. The examples are silicon dioxide, quartz, then carbon in its allotropic form of diamond, and carbon in its allotropic form of graphite. Now you have already studied the difference between the diamond and graphite in 11th standard. Diamond is a typical example of this solid, which is hard actually and non-conductor of electricity, very high melting point. When compared to diamond, graphite is soft and exceptionally the conductor of electricity because of the presence of the free electron, the fourth valence electron of each atom at the different layer. And you also know this diamond is used as a gemstone and for sharpening tools. This graphite is a soft solid and used as a lubricant. We have already studied the structure of graphite and diamond. So you can see on your screen. Figure 1.3 shows the structure of diamond, the hexagonal, three-dimensional, and this is figure 1.4 shows the structure of graphite, where the different layers are covalently bonded with each other, these two layers. So that's all for now. This table you may find in your textbook. This is table 1.2, and this is all about the different properties of the 4 types of solid which we have learned. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos.